right here. So I'll let you listen to the whole track with everything on it, solo and with the music.
They want me to preach, I preach, just like a teacher teach. I've been eating beats, from that I feed the streets. Cause I can't do the beef, I'ma keep it P. Leave that to G-O-D, that's how I keep my peace. I'ma throw the piece, cause I got joy to reap. God got plans for me, I'm knowing. Had a bad taste with some old friends that had change of face. I ain't never have a switch up, kept the same faith like Amazing Grace. Hard times got hard, my heart cold, in the streets did the same thing. I'ma still ride in that range with this, but please don't change lanes.
Using effect plugins can be complicated when you first start using them. Which one do we use first on the track? Is it EQ, reverb, a compressor plugin, or delay? How do we use them in real time? Look, I got you. I'll show you which plugin to use first and the basics of how to use them in real time. I'm not going to cover all the plugins you may run in your music production career, but I am going to cover just enough of them to get you in trouble. All right? Let's go. Welcome to another episode of Platinum Lyrics and Beats. I'm your host, Treboey. I teach aspiring music producers how to create and sell dope beats online without the confusion and frustration of wondering where to start. On Platinum Lyrics and Beats, we look to assist you in getting started in your music production career and help you make some life-changing music and money. Okay, today we're going to dive into what plugin should we be using first and how it changes the audio in real time. All right, for all of those listening on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, or any other audio podcast app, look, I apologize ahead of time. You'll be able to hear how the plugins manipulate the sound. Of course, you'll hear, the audio, but you won't be able to see it. And you can chime in later on YouTube. The link will be in the descriptions below. All right, here we go. Okay, for starters, most producers and engineers start out with the EQ plugin. All right, this works for vocals and instruments. All right, in my opinion, the EQ plugin is the most powerful tool you have at your disposal, right? When mixing, all right? I want you to think of an EQ plugin as a frequency knob, all right? All of these are knobs and they're just controlling the frequency, all right? All it does is cut or add frequency to the audio file. This is the audio file back here that we're going to be looking at, okay? So this is what we're going to be tweaking, all right? So before we get into the basics of setting up your EQ plugin, listen to the audio track with and without the EQ plugin, and I'll show you what I did to enhance it. But before even then, I'm going to show you what all of these knobs are for so you can fully understand it, all right? We'll listen to this audio. This is without the plugin. I'm going to bypass it, all right? Let you listen to it.
They want me to preach, I preach, just like a teacher teach. I've been eating beats, from that I feed the streets. Cause I can't do the beef, I'ma keep it P. Leave that to G-O-D, that's how I keep my peace. I'ma throw the piece, cause I got joy to reap. God got plans for me, I'm knowing. Had a bad taste for some old friends that had change of face. I ain't never have a switch up, kept the same faith like Amazing Grace. Hard times got hard, my heart cold, in the street did the same thing. I'ma still ride in that range with this, but please don't change lanes.
This simple plugin right here, the EQ plugin, how it can change the dynamics of audio sound, the audio track, right? You can see how it can change it, how it can clean it up, and it makes a difference when you playing your track and you take out some of the frequencies and you add some of the frequencies. We're going to talk about that next, but how it cleans up everything. You just have like a 2-channel track, like when you listen to it in stereo. So when you multiply all these different tracks, you got to make sure they're in the right frequencies. Okay, so just tweaking the audio frequencies and adding the other elements make great sounding mixes. All right. Now, as you can see, this is the Avid stock EQ plugin. It comes when you purchase Pro Tools, all right? When you get Pro Tools, this comes with the whole DAW, okay? And we have that bundle, the complete studio bundle comes with Pro Tools. I have that in the descriptions below, okay? Now, this EQ plugin It starts at 20 hertz, goes all the way to 20 kHz. All right, how dope is that, man? That's cool, right? Let's take a look at each band and what they're used for. All right, what they have. So we have right here, these are the bands. All right, we have the low frequency band. This is the low mid frequency band, the mid frequency band, the high mid frequency band, and the high frequency band. Okay, let's take a look at one of them because they pretty much do the same thing. Once you know how one of them work, you know how all of them work. All right, let's check out the mid frequency band. This is it right here. All right, and as you can see also up here at the top, they're color coded. They correspond to each band, right? So this yellow here is your mid frequency. This is the green is your high mid frequency, and then you have your high frequency with the blue, right? So we're gonna jump into the yellow, right? The mid frequency band. Okay. So for starters, this is the most important knob right here. This is the frequency band. Now with the frequency band, you can within that frequency, you can actually go to a specific frequency and get right on it. And if you want to, this is where you change the frequency within that band. Then you can come here to the gain. The gain is like the volume of that specific frequency. All right, that particular frequency. I can add or I can cut. And that particular band, right? I mean, it gets you down to wherever you want to be in that frequency. You can add or you can subtract. Okay? Some people just come up here and they will just move. They will move the knob this way. But if you're looking for a specific frequency, then you can use, the knob here as well. All right. Now, this is the Q knob. This right here just allows you to fine tune the frequency. This is the Q knob. This is what the Q knob does. I don't mess with this a lot. All right. Most of the time, I'm just dealing with the frequency and the gain. That's all that's going on. That's all that's going on. Then over here, we have the high pass filter. All right. The high pass filter. This is going to allow all of your highs, like the treble you hear, when you get in your car, you turn up the treble. This is what allows that. Okay, we can cut some of the highs or we can add some of the highs with this one. Okay, with these knobs over here. This is the low pass filter. All right, the low pass filter allows you to allow the lows to pass. All right, we can allow them to pass using these knobs over here. That's how that works. Okay, so once you get Pro Tools and you mess around with these knobs, you'll be able to see different things that you can do with them. But I'm just giving you the basics of what they do. Okay, then of course we have the input. This is the signal coming in. This is the signal going out. How much signal you want coming in, how much signal you want going out. All right. And with the knowledge I just shared with you, you can control any EQ plugin you want that has these knobs. Now you know what they're for. Now you know how to use them, and you will know how to manipulate the sounds that you're trying to manipulate. All right. It's just boosting or cutting the audio. That's it. That's all we're doing. And you can boost or cut a specific frequency, all right, that you're looking to cut. You can do all of that with this plugin. All right, that's why I think this is a dope plugin. So I'm getting ready to let you listen to the vocals that is mixed. All right, the vocals that I mix. And I want you to listen to the mix so you can hear how the vocals stand out because of the EQ plugin that I use. I use some other plugins, but today we're just going to focus on the EQ plugin. I don't want to overwhelm you. I want you to know a lot more about the EQ plugin, and let's just focus on this in case you want to go and try on your own DAW.
They want me to preach, I preach, just like a teacher teach. I been eating beats, from that I feed the streets. Cause I can't do the beef, I'ma keep it P. Leave that to G-O-D, that's how I keep my peace. I'ma throw the piece, cause I got joy to reap. God got plans for me, I'm knowing. Had a bad taste for some old friends that had changed of face. I ain't never ever switch up, kept the same faith like Amazing Grace. Hard times got hard, my heart cold, and the street did the same thing. I'ma still ride in that range with this, but please don't change lanes.
Okay, now here's a tip. A lot of times when we're mixing, we think we may need to turn up a certain track, or we can't hear a certain sound in a track. You may not need to turn that track up on the volume, right? Like through your actual mix. You may not need to do that. So this is what I'm talking about here. You may not need to turn up your fader, okay? You may not need to do that. A lot of times all you have to do is just change the frequency on that particular track, okay? That's it. Just change the frequency on the track and it'll make that particular track stand out, okay? You may need to add an EQ plug-in and change the frequency if you want that sound to stand out so you can hear it, all right? Here's another tip. If you start out subtracting certain frequencies like the low ends, like you can see here, that's what I did here. I took out the low ends. If you start out subtracting certain frequencies, it'll make the other frequencies sound that much better, okay? Because sometimes when you're recording, I don't know, the room may not be treated, or it's just the way the artist was recording the certain recording the track, the way they were standing, the way they were in front of the mic. I don't know, man. We come up, when we record, we have some surprises sometimes. For whatever reason, you may want to take out a certain frequency and it will enhance another part of the frequency. So if I were you, I wouldn't start boosting frequencies until I've taken out other frequencies, okay? Till I take out what doesn't sound good. Okay, to me, it doesn't sound good when his vocals has this much bottom into it. I'm gonna let you listen to it.
Want me to preach, I preach, just like a teacher teach. I been eating beats, from that I feed the streets. Cause I can't do the beef, I'ma keep it P. Leave that to G-O-D, that's how I keep my peace. I'ma throw the piece, cause I got joy to reap.
Those mids come out sounding great when you take those lows out, okay? That box sound out. All right, and now this is a decent recording. Don't get me wrong, it's a decent recording. But when I take the lows out, his mids really bleed through, right? And then my 808s and everything else that I want low in this frequency right here, I can put them in this area right here, okay? The 808s, all of that, I can put that in this area right here because I subtracted before I boosted, okay? And you will see, oh, I don't need to boost the mids. All right, just take out some of the lows and the mids will come through sounding great. All right, now let me show you how I pre-mixed this track. All I did here was take out the mids here. I took out some of the mids and I added a little EQ high frequency right here. All right, that's it. And you can see my numbers right here. These are the frequencies that I'm using. Okay, these are frequencies that I'm using. The gain is about the same, but I mean, you don't have to do a lot. You don't have to do a lot. You just want it to sound good on the track. That's all. You want it to sound good on the track, and you want it to sound good through while you're listening to it, while it's on solo. Okay. Now I just pre-mixed this because most of the time I send the tracks to the engineer, but I give them an example of what I'm looking for so they can just enhance the sound. All right. If you're at home and you want to mix your own material, you want to mix your own work, that's cool. That's up to you. I think that's okay. It's totally up to you. But if you pre-mix it and get it sounding the way you want to, at least close to what you want it to sound like, you can send it to your engineer and they will enhance it just as much. Okay? So I'm going to let you listen to the whole track with everything on there. As you can see here, I have the EQ, I have a reverb, I have the vocal rider, which is and a compressor, It allows vocals not to be too high, not to be too low. Just sit right in the middle, all right? And then I have my delay right here. So I'll let you listen to the whole track with everything on it, solo and with the music.
They want me to preach, I preach, just like a teacher teach. I've been eating beats, from that I feed the streets. Cause I can't do the beef, I'ma keep it P. Leave that to G-O-D, that's how I keep my peace. I'ma throw the piece, cause I got joy to reap. God got plans for me, I'm knowing. Had a bad taste with some old friends that had changed of face. I ain't never have a switch up, kept the same faith like Amazing Grace. Hard times got hard, my heart cold, in the streets did the same thing. I'ma still ride in that range with this, but please don't change lanes.
Okay, so now I hope you have an understanding of what plugins are and what they do and how they can manipulate the sound. All right, these are just the basics when it comes to effect plugins, all right? You won't always need to use all of them, but I want you to know the basics and how to use them on your audio tracks and show you how you can manipulate the sounds as you are recording and mixing, all right? By the way, you may be watching this video because you're thinking about getting into music production, and that's cool and all, but before you can think about these plugins and changing audio sounds and enhancing the audio, you want to learn how to create dope beats first, all right? You're in the right place at the right time watching the right video, because I have a gift for you, the Producer's Blueprint. You can watch the Producer's Blueprint free today. I'll walk you through each step. I'll show you the equipment you need to get started, even if you have a small budget. All right, that's cool. We don't need a lot of money to start producing beats. All right, I'll show you how to create dope beats from scratch. I'll show you how to create your beat store so you can get paid from the beats you created. Just go to aspireproducerslab.com, or if you're on IG, message me directly. DM me the word produce and I'll send you the Producer's Blueprint today. Thank you for listening and supporting our channel. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch more helpful videos like this. We drop them every week. To all the dope music producers out there, let's keep producing that life-changing music. To all aspiring music producers out there, let's continue to change the world one beat at a time. All right? I pray this episode will inspire you to get started in your music production career and help you make some life-changing music and money. Have an amazing day. Let's get that work. See you next week. This Treboey. I'm out. Peace.